Well, both the president and some others tell us our immigration system is broken. Let's look into what they say and see what it would take to fix it. What do you see as some of the issues?
Well, the U.S. is in fact a country of immigrants, and now has, I believe, 300 million citizens. What that would seem to mean is that 300 million people were able to follow our current immigration laws. One would have to ask why it works for so many, but not for others?
Yes. That would seem to be a good point. Some are talking about amnesty. How would that work?
First of all, I do not think that would solve the safety issues with the kidnappings, the murder of that rancher, or the drug cartels shooting at the police. I do not think the criminal element crossing the border cares about amnesty. So I think there are two subjects here. Arizona is worried about safety for their people due to illegal people with guns, and other people are worried about immigration laws for a totally different set of people, the good ones. Two separate things. No wonder they cannot agree.
Okay, I get it. There are two issues here, safety and then the immigration rules for the good people. But let us look at the second one and see what that takes. I think, for example, there are 12 million illegal Mexicans in the U.S. Could that be right?
I don't know that number for sure. I'm not sure anyone knows for sure. But I have heard it also. And if there is amnesty, we have to ensure there is no favoritism. Remember that the U.S. is a country of immigrants. The last I heard, there are about 195 countries in the world. I would believe that the U.S. would have had immigrants from at least 100 countries. I also looked it up, and found that the number is definitely over 45 of just the major countries, so that would make 100 countries perhaps about right.
Well, I can see where that leads. Unless we give favoritism to Mexico, then we would have to allow all 100 countries to have free amnesty for 12 million people each. Let me see, now. That times 100 countries leads to...
It leads to 1.2 billion people, which is 4 times larger than the number of citizens in the U.S. today. That means, when done, that 80% of the new 1.5 billion Americans, 5 times the size we are today, will have had to follow no rules, and we will know nothing about them.
Well, that is what we would have to do unless we say people in Mexico are superior to other countries and therefore do not have to follow the same rules as the other 99 countries making up America.
But it gets worse.
Worse? How?
Those 100 countries likely have at least 25 languages. Unless again we give favoritism to Mexico and Spanish, we would have to honor 24 or so more languages. English, French, German, Italian, Korean, Mandarin, Japanese, Swedish, Yiddish, Portuguese, and more.
Sort of, on a phone, press 22 for Romanian? And I would guess there are even more languages, such as Tagalog from the Philippines for example, and Arabic and more.
Yes, it gets ugly real quickly. As soon as we tell one country they need not follow U.S. rules, the question will be, why other countries are less important.
Can that happen?
Of course. I know German people, Italian people, Polish people and Koreans and more who wonder why they must learn English. These people will feel inferior and cheated by a U.S. who claims equal justice if favoritism is given to just one country.
This is just one mess, is it not?
Yes, the answers are favoritism for one country, or what could be many complaints from many countries, and perhaps a huge amount of immigration that our country could never handle.
I suspect the people who want this have never thought out what they are asking for.
Either that, or it is a clear request for favoritism for a privileged few, which is against what the U.S. has always been about.